When your pet comes to Petsadena for an ultrasound, this is what to expect. Ultrasound is a modality that we use to assess the internal organs of a pet, whether it's in the abdomen, looking at organ systems like the stomach, the liver, the spleen, or in the chest, looking at the heart, the vessels, and potentially even the lungs. We typically recommend ultrasounds when there's an abnormality, either on a blood test or an x-ray, that we need to further assess the organ and look at its architecture. Ultrasound is a useful modality for those kind of situations because it's pain-free, typically can be done without sedation or anesthesia, and is a fairly quick procedure to perform that gives us a lot of information. We can look at multiple organs at once. We also will check the chest or the belly for fluids, abnormal masses or growths, things like that, that you wouldn't otherwise be able to see with, say, an x-ray. Here we have our ultrasound machine. This machine comes with different probes. This is the ultrasound probe. This is what actually will send the ultrasound rays into the organ system that you're looking at. That allows us to look at fine details and architecture of each individual organ. So this is how we perform the ultrasound. As you can see, our patient is actually put on their back. This patient is actually not sedated most of the time. Once we can get them into a comfortable spot, they will lay there and allow us to do what we need to do because it's not a painful process. We typically will shave the belly if we're doing abdominal ultrasound, or if we're doing an ultrasound of the chest, we'll shave the chest if needed to get better visualization. Usually we will put alcohol onto the body, and we will put a gel that helps transduce the ultrasound through the body into the organ. We're not shaving this doggy for the video purposes, but you can still get a reasonable image. Just know that if your pet does get an ultrasound, they will have their belly shaved. So we'll put a little bit of alcohol onto the belly. We'll use the ultrasound gel to allow us to get better contact. And then as we're looking through the different organ systems through the belly, we can actually see an image on the ultrasound. So this is what we're looking at, details of how the organ systems look to determine if there's any abnormalities. If we find an abnormal growth or abnormal structure, we can actually get samples of the structures by using ultrasound guidance and a needle if needed. That procedure typically requires some sedation. But just for scanning, for the most part, most pets don't feel any pain or discomfort and don't have to be sedated. And that's as easy as it is to have an ultrasound performed at Petsadena Animal Hospital.